And she said, I need you to compete in Miss International Queen. And I said, I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't have the time. I don't have the capacity. She said, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. This is the first ever USA preliminary. We've never had a preliminary before. And the entry fee is already paid. So I said, oh, free
Yes.
hotel, free stay for a week, free food, free
Yes.
entertainment, all these things. And I get to compete. Okay, sign me
Right.
up.
Yes.
I was very confident my entire run within Miss Washington USA. And then on the last day, when there was our crowning, I got in my own head. I got in my own head really bad. And I kind of persuaded myself into believing that I was not worthy of being on that stage, being one of the first Black trans women to compete in a all cis women's pageant. Really, it never bothered me until I got on the stage and I was like, whoa, I'm really doing something here that I haven't seen before, and I kind of psyched myself out of it. I'm like my sister Nyla said, who was a competitor with me, Miss International Queen. She did a
Uh-huh.
stand-up set, so phenomenal. She said, once all this happens, do we really want the girls in the men's restroom with your husbands and with
Right.
your men? Is that really what we want?
Yes.
Let's think about that.
Right. Right. And I saw that as a reel on Instagram as a voiceover.
Hmm.
I was like, what? I was gagged, but absolutely. Hello, gays. My name is Nekeith. As your host today, I will be talking to Midori Monet of Seattle, Washington. As an African American model, fashion designer, and transgender rights advocate, Midori serves as the new Miss International Queen USA 2025. Now, we here at Gay Magazine are exclusively chatting with her following her competition at the Miss International Queen pageant in Thailand. Welcome, Midori Monet. How are you?
I'm doing so well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for so much for being here and taking time from your schedule, being here with us. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, recharged and refreshed. It's a beautiful day
Yes,
here.
yes. Well, you look absolutely stunning. I
Oh,
want to
thank
say,
you.
I want to say congratulations on your big win. How do you feel about your big win winning the pageant?
Oh my goodness. So many feelings, so many different emotions are still coursing through to me to this day. It feels like it was just yesterday. I know I competed in December, but it all feels so fresh.
Mhm.
It's something that I've been manifesting and working so hard for many years to come. So I'm so grateful to just see it all come to fruition.
I love that. I love to hear that your dreams is coming true. You've been working so hard, and we're so proud of you here at Gay Magazine. So keep doing your thing.
Oh.
You slaying the game. We're so proud of you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you, thank you.
you're welcome. Before we dive into some questions, I want to ask a fun question because I know you love video games. I wanted
Ooh.
I wanted to ask if you could live inside any video game world for a week, which one would you choose and why?
Oh, this is a tough question right off the bat. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
no. I know. It's a fun. I know you love video games. I know you got me.
You know what? I'm gonna be a little chaotic with my answer. I'm gonna say maybe Fortnite because there's always something new happening. The map is always changing. There's always something new to do, and I don't know. It's just so colorful and fun and vibrant, and it just fits my mood.
I love that. I'm a gamer myself. I'll be playing on PS5. My favorite is Mortal
Ooh.
Kombat. So do you think
Oh.
is that what you
So
be
we don't
on?
want no smoke with her.
Okay, we don't want to smoke, so I'm gonna have to go to game with you and we all run two steps together, okay?
I know that's right.
Yes, yes, I love that. For our new viewers that are getting introduced to you, how would you like the world to know who you are? So my question is, who are you? How would you like the world to know who is Midori Monet?
Midori Monet is a bright ball of energy. I'm a talented creator, a singer, wink, not really. I'm a seamstress, I'm a designer, I'm a sister, a daughter, a mother, and a friend
I love
who
that.
loves pageantry.
Yes, yes, I absolutely love that. Now, I know that you grew up in a religious household. How was your life as a kid growing up?
Growing up, I was never really allowed to have the freedom of expression to quite understand who I was and to give myself the space to grow, which led to me eventually being living life on my own, having to figure stuff out on my own. Be- because of the fact that you come from a religious household where your views and your beliefs are not respected or viewed as something that your parents would want you to go through. It took time for my relationship with me and my family. It took me having to figure stuff out on my own, which unfortunately is the circumstance for a lot of underprivileged at risk youth, especially younger Black trans women who their parents are not supportive. So, having gone through that, it has built me up to the character that I am today, and it has given me so much strength and mental solitude and self independence. And it's really driven me to just love myself more than I can even fathom, which I'm very grateful for. And it has definitely given me a new perspective on how to just put yourself first. And it is an experience that has given me the knowledge that I lead in my life to this very day.
I absolutely love that. While growing up, I know when I was researching, read that you were first you came out as gay, then later on in your life you came out as transgender. How was that
I
experience
did.
from for you, like finding coming to your own person, coming out? I was gonna say, can you share your personal journey of self discovery and your coming out story?
Of course. Well, I feel like, especially coming from a religious background, I was never really introduced to anything queer. I didn't have any gay role models. I didn't have any trans role models. I didn't even know what trans was until later into my teenage years. Through being out in queer culture, there was this nightclub that I would fancy. It was an underage nightclub. I think I was like 18 at the time here in Seattle. And it was like a drag night. And I was so involved and so enthralled with the art of transformation and makeup and beauty and art. And I ended up starting to do drag, and it was so transformative to me. And I'll never forget one of these days I was working the show when I came home, and I just looked at myself in the mirror and I said, "Baby, I don't want to. I can't lose this. I feel like I feel a
Mhm.
connection to this. I feel so different. And I was in here in Seattle. We have a very diverse drag scene, and there's a lot of art and a lot of camp. And I was coming to the game beauty, and I was like, what I'm
Yes,
doing is a little different. I don't think that what I'm doing is the same thing that these girls are doing. And then after
right,
becoming more invested in my community, I found a very lovely, gorgeous group of trans women that were just like, girl, you're not a drag queen. Mama, you're a girl.
yeah,
And after doing my own research and just coming to terms with that, it made life just made so much sense, like so many doors open. All throughout my life in elementary school, I was always with the girls. My parent teacher conference, your child is good, they're a little talkative, but they only have girlfriends. And this lasted all the way to high school. And I never really understood why. I was like, I just don't click with the boys. I don't see myself here with the boys. And even in the locker rooms as a child, I always felt off. I was just like, this feels weird. Why
yeah,
am I here? What is going on? So
yeah,
when I came to my identity of like figuring out that like trans people exist, and there are so many
mhm,
trans women who've come before me that I just was not aware of. I was like, wow, so I can do this. This is a way of
right,
life that does exist. This is not
yeah,
a secret. It's just something I never knew about myself and I never knew even existed in queer culture. So once I
right.
started my transition, baby, I never looked back, and it's been some of the happiest years of my life.
I absolutely love that. And I can definitely resonate with that. Just having that community and support behind you to find your true identity. And you know it's within, you know? What do you
Absolutely.
say? Yes. What do you say to trans women who are just starting their transitions?
I would say the number one thing you need to do is focus on you and your self love because there's going to be so many things that we go through as trans women here in the world. And as long as you keep a good head on your shoulders and you're constantly loving yourself, which is a very hard battle to do, to continue loving yourself and to continue investing in yourself, everything you want will work out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just keep pushing. Make sure you keep pushing forward, and do what your heart
Absolutely.
says, and you're going to be good. And have a
Yeah,
good stuff.
lead with your heart. Lead with your heart. Lead with your heart. That's all I can say. Lead with your heart and let your emotions and let your good faith lead you the way.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Now, I know you've been slaying the game with your pageants. You've been doing your thing. And after placing in the top six at Miss Washington USA, I know that you hesitated to do pageants again. What motivated you to go ahead and move forward to go for Miss International Queen USA?
Ooh, well, it gives me goosebumps when I hear this every time I think about it because competing in Miss Washington USA was such a amazing opportunity for me as one of the first Black trans women to compete in Washington State, USA. I spent
Mm-hmm.
a lot of money and a lot of time on everything that I brought to that stage. And I was just so burnt out. As a creative, it's hard to continuously elevate and push yourself to the highest limit
Yeah.
without investing back into yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I was blessed to have had a recruiter. Her name is Kimmy. Hi, Kimmy. And she reached out to me and she was like, I'm so proud of your work that you did in Miss Washington USA, opening up doors for other trans women.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I need you to compete in Miss International Queen. And I said, I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't have the time. I don't have the capacity. She said, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. This is the first ever USA preliminary. We've never had a preliminary before. And the entry fee is already paid. So I said, oh, free
Yes.
hotel, free stay for a week, free food, free
Yes.
entertainment, all these things. And I get to compete. Okay, sign me
Right.
up.
Yes. Yes. Let's do this. I
hmm
loved it. I
So
loved it.
yeah, it was a very quick turnaround too.
Good, good. Well, you did your thing and you've been slaying it. I'm so proud of you. What does being crowned Miss International Queen mean to you personally and professionally?
To me, it means I get to open up a door for newer and younger Black trans women to have a place and know that they belong and to know that it's okay to be different. You don't have to be the standard quote beauty queen. I love glamour and I love pageants, but I'm not your run of the mill pageant girl. I come from the ballroom scene where, we compete on almost a weekly basis. So it's interesting to take my experience from there and bring it here and just open up that new door and honestly own my creativity and own my individuality. And I hope that that will help inspire the next generation and next generation and next generation to come.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Cataluna Enriquez crowned you. We did an exclusive interview with her here on our platform, Gay Magazine. Such a sweetheart, such a beautiful young lady. Have you all been able to chat? Has there been any advice that she shared with you or any words of encouragement?
Well, of course, she's been a lovely sister and she helped the step down process just make it more holistic and easier for me. Being the first ever winner of the US preliminaries, it's a lot of new things that have come along within the gears of Miss International Queen USA. And I say the number one thing she said, take pictures, and take content.
Yes, yes. The content is everything, especially now in social media. You got to have that content. So I know she
Oh,
gave good.
absolutely.
Yes, I love it. I was going to ask, what was the most challenging moment for you during the competition?
It's an interesting question for me. Having already competed in Miss Washington USA, I had my own struggles. I was very confident my entire run within Miss Washington USA. And then on the last day, when there was our crowning, I got in my own head. I got in my own head really bad. And I kind of persuaded myself into believing that I was not worthy of being on that stage, being one of the first Black trans women to compete in a all cis women's pageant really, it never bothered me until I got on the stage and I was like, whoa, I'm really doing something here that I haven't seen before, and I kind of psyched myself out of it. And I'm so grateful to have placed top six within that experience. But I was not in the right mind space. So coming out of that pageant directly into Miss International Queen, which is a very renowned pageant for transgender women, I was able to just come into the platform already knowing who I was and already knowing that there's nothing I need to do here other than be myself.
Yes.
And I think it turned into my greatest strength of coming from a place of overthinking and putting myself in a box to stepping into Miss International Queen and saying, there are no limits and there are no restrictions holding me back. All I have to do is just have fun.
Yes, I absolutely love that, and I love that you went on that stage and showed up as your authentic self. And that's what when I watched you do your thing, I was like, wow, like she's so magical, a total superstar. So I commend you being your authentic your thing. Yes,
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. During the Miss International Queen pageant for the national costume category, you wore Samantha Galla's costume from Miss USA 2023. What inspired you to select this costume for this category?
Wow. Well, first and foremost, hi Samantha, I love you down, sister. Samantha Gallia is one of my favorite Miss Washington alumni of all times. She was, I believe, the first candidate to reach the top 20 in Miss USA history from to represent Washington State in over like 19 years. Washington has never placed in USA, so to have her there was just such an honor. And she, out of everyone in my experience of Miss Washington USA, was the nicest to me. And to have, the former winner just see me and make me feel seen in that competition meant the world to me. So
Yes.
I wanted to honor the legacy that is Miss Washington USA and my history competing in Miss Washington USA, taking all of that experience that I have and bringing it to a stage such as Miss International Queen.
I love it. And the outfit was absolutely stunning. When I saw it, I was like, oh my God, that's hot. It's hot and sexy, so classy and slinging. Like for real, for
Thank
real.
you. Thank
Well,
you. They kind of gagged me because I didn't know that they were going to ask us to talk about our costume. So I wanted to just be like, I'm representing Washington State for
yes,
USA. And I was like, no, that's not it.
yes.
So knowing Samantha Gallia, she's a dentist, and
Mhm.
with her staff of Asclepius, which is the staff that we're holding, it's a symbol of medication and healing. So, it being in a place of Miss International Queen USA, I figured, why not make myself the only trans angel? I am a
Yes,
representation of HRT, which is
yes,
hormone replacement therapy. And I said, this is my staff of Asclepius, my symbol of medication and healing. So I used it to relate more so to my story of being on HRT and just embracing my transition and being my own guardian angel per se.
right. I absolutely love that. And just like you say, just being in that moment and just standing and being authentic in the HRT, you're gonna do you and be yourself and do your thing. You did it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Yes. I do want to ask for your opinion on something. Recently, Laverne Cox, she recently did an interview regarding the kids that are not able to get their gender affirming care due to the recent legislation. She stated that she believes that the best steps would be for the people to live in self on their daily lives. How do you feel about that and your take on individuals and kids living in self?
I honestly think that it's very vital information. And unfortunately, I don't think that every trans individual has the access to passability. I think that passability is a very, 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 very important thing, especially with where we're at right now. However, I would say just to add on to that, consider a sanctuary state. I know that there are a lot of places currently in the nation that are saying, whatever happens with Trump, we're not abiding by it. I'm blessed to be in a state such as Washington where we have plenty of sanctuary cities where being trans is, it's nothing new. It's something that's been around for ages and ages and ages. So I would say, just to add on to the possibility, I say consider your options of relocating if clearly getting out of the country is something that they're trying to make incredibly taxing and challenging for us trans individuals right now. Consider sanctuary. I think that is the best thing that we can do.
Absolutely. And it's so much craziness going on in the world, but I totally feel that we're not going anywhere. We're going to get louder and prouder than ever.
Oh, absolutely. I think the best thing we can do is truly just stand up. Stand up and keep each other in mind. I think community is going to be needed now more than ever. History repeats itself. We've always lived and we've always thrived, even with legislation, locking queer people up in our history. I
Yes.
think that hopefully we won't get to that point,
Oh, no.
but it just helps to make sure that we stick together. We need to have each other's back more now than ever.
Absolutely. We are definitely better together. Absolutely. I know recently in the news and press, it stated that biological women are only allowed to use the bathroom at the Capitol. How do you feel about this? What is your take on that about only biological women using the restroom at the Capitol?
My first thought about this new law was that, didn't we just get a trans woman on the panel in government? And
Yes.
then I'm thinking, did Miss Mary say anything? Like, what
Right.
did she say? What was her stance? Is honestly the first thing that went through my mind.
Hmm.
Because it's crazy that we are celebrating, having the access to having a trans woman in office, which is amazing, and I think that does a lot for us. But what is she saying? She should be there in that office saying that's not right, or there needs to be a different clause, maybe even gender neutral bathrooms or something. But I think the act of just extreme jump to exclusion was very jarring to me. And it
Yes.
just kind of showed me what the first steps of how the nation is going to move, not just from the office, but on a nationwide scale.
Right. It's so crazy right now. It's such a scary time for all of us. But like we have said, like just standing together and using our voices is gonna make it better and to let everybody know that we're not gonna accept just anything. We're gonna keep making pushing forward and make everything right. Anything that we
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Absolutely. And like my sister Nyla said, who was a competitor with me, Miss International Queen, she did
Uh-huh.
a stand up set so phenomenal. She said, once all this happens, do we really want the girls in the men's restroom with your husbands and
Right.
with your men? Is that really what we want?
Yes.
Let's think about that.
Right. And I saw that as a reel on Instagram as a voiceover.
Hmm.
I was like, what? I was gagged, but absolutely. You don't want to
Yeah,
see.
shout out to Nyla Moon. Hey, sister.
Yes, right. Yes. Now I know growing up, you discovered your mom's sketches and designs. What is
Yes.
yes? What is the driving force behind your designs, and how do you feel your personal experiences or values inspire the pieces that you create?
Well, I'm an artist at heart. I am through and through an artist. It has definitely been a way of escapism for me, dealing with the harsh realities that are life and, being in a household where you weren't really supported. Being creative was my escape route. It was my way to disassociate from where I was at and put me in a new place where I get to control, I get to make the actions, I get to call the shots. So when I saw my mom's sketch pad for the first time, I was amazed. I was blown away. I've never seen anything like it. I had never seen like a physical book of sketches, which was like, manifestations of what she believed in and what she felt. And I just felt her passion. And it inspired me to think outside of the box and start
Mhm.
thinking of things that inspire me, things that make me happy, and translating that into my art and into my fashion, which really inspired me to create my own evening gown for Miss International Queen, which was that nude gown with all the stones and the swirls
Yes.
going all around. I just said to myself, I want something that I've never seen before anywhere else. I want something that even I probably can't even replicate.
Yes.
And it was such a big jump and it was a big risk for me. But to be able to stand on stage and say, I'm not just representing myself, I'm not just another pageant queen, I'm self-made. Everything that you see is a representation of me, and it just feels like showing up with the full armor of self-confidence and love to know that like everything that you see is me and my love for myself and my love for fashion and my love for art and beauty.
I love it. I love it. And you look absolutely stunning, fabulous from head to toe. So, yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I know you have a busy schedule. I know you're always on the go. In preparation to represent the United States at the Miss International Queen 2025 in Thailand, what can we look forward to when you grace the global stage?
You can look forward to seeing me have a great time.
Yeah.
I want to get on that stage and just enjoy every single second of that experience and to just soak it all in. I honestly think that being on stage is where I truly belong. It's where I truly feel at home. You
Yeah.
know, living my life and, transitioning at 18, which to me I felt like was later in life. I felt like coming into my possibility and coming into my place in
Hmm.
this world, I'm always seen. I can't blend in no matter how hard I try. It's getting better now.
Yeah.
But I think having all of that attention and all of the eyes on me, even when I never wanted it, just made me feel so ostracized and it made me
Hmm.
feel so much of a standout, and I never really had a place of where to put that energy or that emotions that it feels like to know that when I'm just stepping outside to go to the store, everyone's staring at me.
Yeah.
So to translate all of that energy that I receive and take it on stage where everyone is staring at me, but they're
Yes.
supposed to be staring at me because
Hmm.
they're enthralled and they are they're into the glamour,
Yes.
so it just makes me able to channel all that I experience in my daily life and take all of that energy and then immediately blast it back out at my audience, which it's such a life-changing experience for me.
I love it. I love it. I can't wait to see you do your thing on the global stage. I know you're going to kill it. So y'all better get ready
Thank you.
to get on the.
Thank you. Oh yeah. Hmm.
Yes, yes. What kind of legacy do you hope to leave behind? And how do the values of being authentic, courage, and positivity shape that vision?
I think what I want to leave behind the most is being free and being into your own sense of identity. I think it is more important than ever now to start figuring out who you are. I feel like we're more than statistics, we're more than just trans, we're more than any barrier placed upon us. We get to choose who we want to be. This is our life. This world is our oyster, and we can do whatever we want with it. And I would love to leave behind a legacy that shows other women that there's no right way. There's no wrong way. There's no rule book or guidebook to a transition. You
Yes.
only have to seek yourself first and
Mhm.
do what makes you happy, do what makes you proud, and do what brings you joy.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. And you've been doing your thing. I'm so proud of you. And like I was going to say, like, you're just being authentic. And I just want to thank you for being bold and being the voice for the community. For real.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, there's so much of my life where I had tried to fit in and it just never really worked. And it didn't start clicking in to me that I'm just never going to fit in. I'm not going to be a part of the pack, and that's okay.
Yes.
And it's okay to step in that and embrace that and be at peace with that. I felt like for so long I was waiting and I was waiting for someone to give me permission. And eventually you have to give yourself permission to say that you are great. You don't need anyone else's approval but your own, and that's all that matters.
Absolutely. And I can resonate with that because sometimes for myself, I feel like I'm like the underdog. And it's like, you got to keep pushing, you got to keep going. No one's going to give you an opportunity. You got to create those opportunities for yourself, you know? So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to be the change you want to see.
exactly, absolutely. When you're not working on advocacy projects or pageant related activities, how do you like to spend your free time?
If I'm not gaming and I'm not behind a sewing machine,
Yes.
I'm probably somewhere getting ready for a ball. I am a house mother. I'm the overall founding mother of the Kiki House of Moschino. And that's where I spend majority of my time is with my kids and with my family. Being that I had to experience life on my own and I had to experience life without that parental support and guidance, that's what made me find the ballroom scene where I'm able to create my own family, my own sense of belonging and love and community, and it's often where I spend the most of my time. It refills my cup,
Yes.
and it's a place for me to hone in on my skills and my creativity and be able to present myself. I feel like everything that I've done with Miss International Queen would not be possible without my background in ballroom. So that's probably my main thing.
I love that. I want to ask you, with being the mother of the Kiki House of Machino, what has been one of the most rewarding moments that you can remember that you always hold dear to your heart?
I would say it's the impact. It's the impact of being a I feel like, as I mentioned earlier, I didn't have that role model to show me the way and to open up those doors. So to be able to be in the ballroom scene where I'm at now and to be able to be that person that is opening up the doors for the younger girls is just so amazing. I feel like I am now the woman who I wanted in my own life when I was younger in my transition. So it feels so full circle to be able to take up that place in community and take that role within a lot of my younger's lives.
Yes, like you said, community is so important. Like I said, just being there for one another and uplifting everybody through our journeys together is very important.
Absolutely.
Yes. For anyone that is currently facing bullying, abuse, mental health or discrimination, what advice would you give them? And do you have any resources that may guide them?
Of course, I will say, and it's really cliche, but
Yes.
I do have to say it. It genuinely does get better. It
It's,
genuinely does get better. And I know that sometimes it feels like, the walls are caving in on us and that sometimes things might not seem like there's any possibility of hope. But it
mhm.
truly comes from just understanding that you are on this earth one time and you are in this experience one time. So, no matter what anyone else is around you, as long as you're respecting yourself and you're loving yourself, nothing else should matter. Sometimes it's hard to find that support. I'm grateful to have had a community where I was able to be accepted and I was able to push my own lane. I'm grateful to have worked with organizations like the Trevor Project. I am grateful to have organizations here in Seattle, such as Lavender Rights Projects, which is a Black trans nonprofit group here in Seattle, which does a lot of community work here for a lot of the girls here in Seattle. So I'd say just check out your resources. There's always, always, always someone who wants to help.
Absolutely. And once again, it's time right back to community. You know, we're always having someone there to support us, someone in the community that believes in us and are willing to guide us. And just be yourself and live your life for you. Like you said, you only live once.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes. Now, I want to say congratulations on your engagement. That is amazing. Congratulations. Yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you mind walking our audience through the day you got engaged?
Wow. So our engagement was at the end of COVID, and we were basically locked up with each other for 2 years.
Yes.
And it was never really a problem for me because I'm a hermit. I stay inside unless if I'm like supporting my friends or if I'm booked with an engagement.
Yes.
So to just have so much time with a person and to just truly go through all the highs and the lows, especially the lows, it
Yes.
helps you like truly see where you're at and it helps you see what you might need or what might be missing.
Right.
And it has just truly blessed me with an opportunity to love myself and be vulnerable and have a partner that supports me and loves me and I can give all that love right back.
Yes.
And right at the end of COVID, I believe we were watching The Princess and the Frog, which is my
Okay.
absolute favorite movie of all time.
Yes.
Princess Tiana. Love
Mm-hmm.
her, love her, love her, love
Me
her.
too.
And we were watching the scene where Prince Naveen was getting ready to propose to her before the Shadow Man, snatches her up
Yeah.
from the Mardi Gras parade, and they were dancing. So while we're watching the movie and they're dancing on the float, my fiance, he was like, "Let's dance." So
Yes.
we're dancing while the movie's playing, and he pops the question, and I just was like, "Whoa, we're joking, we're joking, we're joking." Not during my movie, not during my
Right. It's
moment.
a movie now.
But he was absolutely serious,
Oh my
and it
goodness.
was such a blessing and an honor, and I'm so happy to stand proud in my truth and stand proud in my love, because growing up being told that like trans women would never find love, I'm told that
Yes.
there's a life expectancy of 30 and there's all of these different things that come
Right.
as challenges to us as trans women, and to be able to stand here and say that like none of that
Yeah.
none of that means anything to me. I don't have to live in fear that the expectancy is only 30, or that I wouldn't find love, because as I said, life is your oyster. You can do whatever you want with it. You can manifest whatever you want, and I'm so grateful that I got to manifest a loving partner that supports me.
Yes. I love that. Congratulations. That is such a magical moment, like a fairy tale for
Thank
real.
you.
You
It
both.
was very fairy tale, very fairy tale.
I love that. Yes. I was like, how did y'all meet? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, so we are a very random right swipe on Tinder that has
What? Okay,
lasted
Tinder.
over 6 years now. Yeah, it was so interesting because I had honestly given up on love, and I was like, let me just focus on myself. Let me focus on, just bettering myself,
Yes.
working and all of these different things. I must have had a really late night,
Uh,
working in nightlife, and I guess I was just bored, and I said, let me just go through here, girl. Let me see what's
right.
happening.
What's going
Girl,
on?
so I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling, and I see him, and I'm like, whoa, this man is like, I love him off of first sight.
Yes.
So I try not to play too big into it. I
Mhm.
remember sending the most basic message.
What
I
you
said the first
say?
message, of course, and I said, hey, chocolate bar emoji. And I was like, he's not gonna respond to that. He's not gonna respond to that. Next thing you know, we started chatting and talking, and we built this conversation and rapport that lasted for months.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. You gave me hope. You gave me hope, girl.
Oh, there's so much hope for us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for real. With Valentine's right around the corner, do you have any Valentine's plans for this special day?
You know what?
Yeah.
I was just telling him the other day, I was like, so I guess I need to search for Valentine's applications, because
Mhm.
what haven't I been asked? Yes, we've been together for
Yeah.
years, but you have to ask
You gotta
me.
ask me. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
which I think a lot of ladies can agree with. I think
Mhm.
it does happen. I feel like they're just like, we're secure in our relationship. I know we're not going anywhere, but like, you still need to ask
I still
me.
ask. Yeah, please. Like for real. I just ordered Tupac and
um,
everything, so yeah, I got you.
oh, boots, boots.
Yes.
But I'm not much of the planner. Usually I just let him surprise me, which he's so creative and talented at
Mhm.
doing. So I guess I'll just have to find out and update you.
Yes, please keep me updated, sister, because I want to know. Okay. Yeah. Yes, yes. Do you have any tips for trans women looking to find love?
I'll say the best thing that you can do is be content with yourself. And you have to be content with loving yourself, because I feel like, especially being trans and having all of these boundaries on us and all of these labels, it can be hard to truly find yourself. So once you just focus on your self love, I promise, and this is a promise from me, when you truly are loving yourself, things just start working out for you.
Absolutely. I definitely agree to that. And I know sometimes for us trans girls and for people in general from all over the community, it could be very difficult for us to disclose our identity. Do you have any tips for disclosing your identity to someone new in your life?
I think there's a big risk when it comes to, disclosing, but I think there's such a pride and there's such a sense of self-worth that comes into place when you don't have to hide your identity, when you can be authentic from the get-go. I think it plays a huge role in how, you navigate through relationships,
Yes,
especially something as vulnerable as, loving a human being and, making a commitment to them. It's great to honestly step out in your truth and not have a problem with that. Because if there's a problem with that, then mama, you shouldn't be there, you
ex-
know?
yeah, exactly. I'm totally agree with that. Just keeping it real from the jump and don't be secretive about who you are because first you
Absolutely.
just want to be yourself from the beginning and have him or her accept you for who you are from the top since from the first day,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, so from the get-go, there you should be able to stand in your authenticity.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then who wants to sit in a relationship faking things every day, trying
Exactly.
to assimilate when you should be able to be your most vulnerable self in a
Right.
relationship?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, do you have any upcoming projects that we can look out for in the near future?
Well, yes. Actually, the schedule is rolling out, baby. This calendar year is I know it's February, it's Black History Month, but the year feels like it's already compiling up. So the best thing I can say is stay tuned to my Instagram at Midori Monet, which is where I post all of my updates, whether it's a ball, an engagement, a brunch, or a show. So just stay tuned. There's a lot more coming for you this year.
Absolutely. We're going to be tuning in. So make sure you will see me follow you, and all of us are going to follow you here at Gay Magazine. For real, for real.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Midori Monet, I want to thank you so much for coming in and spending time with us here today at Gay Magazine. Thank you so much for everything. And continue to be bold and be yourself. And we wish you all the best on your upcoming pageants and taking over the world as a superstar you are. For real.
Thank you, Nekeith. I am so honored to be here. And to everyone watching at Gay Magazine, I love you. I love you.
Yes, yes. And Gabe, thank you so much for tuning in to today's interview. Please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Gay Magazine and also to follow our website, www.gaymagazine.com. I am your host, Nekeith, signing out. Bye, everyone.
Ciao.